Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so excited to be talking to you. It's such a beautiful day today to be talking to an amazing, inspirational young lady like yourself. So I'm doing good.
It does look like you have an amazing background because of like the window.
Thank you. I mean, the sunshine is shining down on us in Los Angeles, and I'm just excited to be talking about this amazing project that I've made a labor of love, and I dedicated it to my own kids. A
Mhm.
book about identity.
Yeah, definitely. I have a few questions for you.
Okay, cool.
What does identity mean to you?
Identity basically means just being proud of who you are. I myself am Native American and I'm Mexican. And along the way of me becoming older and understanding the beauty of both cultures, I wanted kids of mixed race, of different backgrounds, different faiths, different gender preferences
Hmm.
to always celebrate who they are and be proud of who they are. Because a lot of kids sometimes we're confused and we don't really know where we fit in. Sometimes we feel like we just cannot connect with most people, but the reality is you're perfect being who you are, and I want to champion that, and that's why I wrote the book, a kid's book about identity, to be proud of who you are.
Definitely. I mean, there's lots of things to know about you. You have to know like you have to know like your identities and your things you like and stuff like that.
Yes, for sure. And I try to teach my kids that as well. Like, there is no one way of being, as far as like the choices that you make, because also like being proud of where you come from. For me, like being born in Los Angeles, I wanted to do a deep dive into understanding my history and my ancestors. And my grandmother was born in Arizona. She's a Native American woman. And my grandfather was born in Sonora, Mexico. So I want to really understand the beauty of both cultures, and that's what I'm trying to teach my kids because they're also multicultural. They're Filipino on their mom's side, Native and Mexican on my side. So we're trying to also empower them to celebrate the beauty of all those cultures and the beautiful mosaic that they are.
Why is talking about identity important?
Because we need more people to stand up and be proud of who they are. I feel like we don't have a lot of representatives, especially in indigenous communities, that may have the uh, platform the way that I have as because of my musical career as a Black IP and now as a writer. We have a lot of great artists and actresses and actors and athletes that are doing their part as well. But I just wanted to do my part. I wanted to make sure that people celebrate who they are and be proud of who they are, because identity has been a big thing that I've battled since I was a kid, and not being enough. Like I always felt like I wasn't enough of this or enough of that. But in reality, I am enough and I'm proud to be that person.
I'm actually an actress too.
You are?
Hmm.
Have you done movies or TV?
Have I been on movies or TV?
Yep.
I don't. I haven't been on like it's not like I've been like on set and done it, but I have done like in home recording self tapes.
I love that. That's so cool. Like when you watch it, do you put it up on YouTube?
We put it up on pretty much like every Anna Lee page that there is.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. My daughter's into putting up videos as well. She likes to dance. She's an actress too. Um, so I support that as well. I think it's great that when you have platforms where you can express yourself and use your talents and your acting and your dancing and your creativity to let the world know how amazing you are.
Definitely. How can kids discover their own identities?
By asking questions. I think questions, even myself, as a father, I still ask questions to understand where I come from and where my family tree lies and my ancestors. It's good to also communicate with your kids and how they're feeling, what they're into, what makes them tick. I'm all about like being a student of also my kids and their inspirations, because I like to write books for kids. I do Marvel comics. I like to make cartoons and animation because my kids inspire me to do that. And I just want to create content that they will see as like, this is what my dad is doing. Besides doing music, he's also making content that inspires not only us, but also, kids from all over the world.
Definitely. I mean, there's lots of different things that you can discover your identity by yourself. You can get help from other people. I mean, it doesn't matter how you discover it. You just need to discover it anyway.
I think it's beautiful when you're able to discover it without trying. Like, for example, I found my identity within being part of my group, Black Eyed Peas. I was a dancer that met Will I Am, my bandmate, and met Apple Diab, my other bandmate. And all three of us together, we were teenagers that loved dancing and performing. And we started to find our identity as a group. In turn, we started to find our identity and our cultural representation to make it about how beautiful each one of us and our backgrounds is, so we can incorporate that in our group, Black Eyed Peas.
How does your identity change, like over time or as you grow older?
Well, for me, my identity has changed because I've gotten a lot more in tune with my past, wanting to understand my roots, as I keep saying. I can't stress enough how important it is to really do a deep dive into understanding my history, and the history of my family. I really want my kids to understand where we all come from, especially when it comes to the root of, my grandmother and her mother and my great great grandmother, because that's who I grew up with. And so as time goes by, I feel like I'm becoming more in tune with my roots and my ancestry. And, I just want to make sure that my kids understand the beauty of that, of holding on and preserving the beauty of the culture and wanting to learn from other cultures, because that's important, because we're all in this together. And I think the beauty of humanity and human beings is learning from each other and asking questions and being respectful to each other's cultures.
I mean, that's crazy. Like being part of cultures, like you said, being part of cultures or looking or finding out what those cultures are can make like what their identity is, and like if they grew up with how their identity changed, and but not just yours.
Yeah, I love that. I love just being able to be a student and learning. I just got back from Egypt. I went to Egypt for the first time and performed in front of the pyramids, and I learned so much from the beautiful people, the locals, to understand that history. And it's very old history, 4,000 years of the pyramids being up in Egypt, in Cairo. So for me, it was a mind-blowing experience. I felt like I was back in a classroom learning and feeling that giddiness of the history. So, I am a student of life, and I like learning as much as possible.
What was it like writing a book?
It was like a dream come true. This is my fifth book that I've written. The first book I wrote was a kind of like a biography called Falling Up, about my life. That came out in 2010. And then I wrote my first Marvel comic 2 years ago, which is called Marvel 1000. And then I wrote another one last year called Werewolf by Night. And then I have a new Marvel comic this year called Kashala. And now I have a kid's book about identity. So writing has just been part of, something that I've been passionate about. It went from like writing lyrics as a musician and as an artist and a songwriter to wanting to put that same type of effort and time into writing books, especially books for kids. Because like I said, I'm a dad and I'm proud to be able to share these books with my kids.
There's lots of different things you can do.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we can do. We can ask our moms and our dads and our friends and people that you love and that you are inspired by to want to get to know a little bit more about their history, because it's cool. It's cool when you get to learn from each other and understand, like, oh, I didn't know my friend came from this place, or hey, my friend's grandmother is from this amazing country and she came here, or just sharing information and learning from each other is very important.
Is writing a book anything like writing a song?
It's different. because I have an amazing team, that if I don't have the answers to it, my team is able to guide me, especially when it comes to making sure that everybody is working together, because it's about the team. It's not about one person. Even though my name is on the book and it says written by or author, I can't do this without my team. It's really important to understand how we celebrate and highlight them too. They're all stars too. They deserve as much recognition and acknowledgement. We have that with our music, but it's more centered around me, Will I Am an Apple. Like that's the magic of Black Eyed Peas. When it comes to writing a book or even the Marvel comic, like we have so many people, the illustrators, the animators, the ink, the people that are doing the text on the comic, the paneling, all these different things that we have to take our hats off to our team. So even with the kids book, I have an amazing team. So shout out to my team.
So remember when you were writing the book and you were talking about like the song
Yeah.
part?
Fighting Giants. Yeah.
Yep. I was wondering if we can hear the song, because we were trying to like search it on the internet and it didn't come up.
No, it's not out yet. We're doing it specially for the release of the book. And honestly, I don't want people to have to pay for it. I don't want a service to, to take on that. I want everybody to just experience it. So there's going to be a link that will go from the book to the actual song, and anyone can listen to it. Anyone can really connect with it. And the song is called Fighting Giants. And basically it's a metaphor of overcoming big things, big obstacles. For me, I battled cancer in 2014. So I was really sick and I felt like I was not going to be able to survive. So the reality is that was a big giant for me that I had to fight. I had to really fight against this giant. Fortunately, I beat it, and now I'm able to use this amazing blessing to help others, help kids, help moms and dads, and everyone that is battling their own giant. So that's why I wanted to make it an important topic. And actually, I put my daughter on the intro of the song because she also appreciates the metaphor of fighting giants and overcoming obstacles.
What's something you wish everyone could understand from your book?
Something that I want everyone to understand is I want everybody to feel proud of who they are. A lot of times we discredit ourselves and we are insecure and we nitpick everything about ourselves. But in actuality, we're beautiful the way we are. And I think people need to celebrate that and learn from each other on how beautiful we all are. And it's not just about a physical thing. It's not just because you're pretty or because you're handsome or because you dress cool. It's not about that. It's about what's in here. It's about the heart. It's about the love and the compassion and empathy and respect. Because that's something my grandmother would have wanted me to do. She wanted me to shine. She was the person that inspired me to perform. So if my grandmother was that person that inspired me, she would definitely want me to have that message of being proud of who you are. And she was proud of who she was. She instilled that quality humbly and respectfully, of course. But she always told me to be proud. When you step on that stage, be proud of who you are. When you're singing that song, be proud of who you are and wear your pride with ultimate love and compassion.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
I do. What's your favorite movie?
What's my favorite movie?
Yep.
I just started to watch Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
And I would say if I were to pick a favorite movie, I would say either Princess Diaries or Sound of Music.
That's amazing. I love both of those movies. I'm big on musicals. My daughter's a big fan of musicals as well. Sound of Music, Grease. We just watched Oliver Twist because my other son is doing a play in his school, and he's going to be Dodger from Oliver Twist. So this is cool. I love musicals. I love learning about what kids are into. Who's your favorite character from a Disney movie?
Well, I don't watch Disney movies a lot, so I don't have much like princess characters, but if I were to pick one or choose one, I would say Cinderella
Cinderella. Okay. The
or
reason
Elsa.
Okay. The reason why I asked that is because when I first started my group, I used to work at Disneyland, and it was so fun. Yeah, I used to work at Disneyland, and I'd go to Disneyland and see all the magic and all the cool stuff happening during the day, and then at night I was performing with my group, the Black Eyed Peas. So I always ask that question because I'm a big Disney. I love Disney because it was my humble beginnings. I learned so much about working and just appreciating being at the park, and then also fulfilling my dreams at night with my group Black Eyed Peas. So I always have to ask the Disney question. I do. So tell me how you got into this whole like asking questions to the authors. Like, how did you get into this?
How did I?
Yeah, like what was the thing that made you say, you know what, I want to ask questions about people that write for a kid's book about?
Well, I think one of the people who like tell the people, hey, do you want to do this interview? I think somebody reached out to my mommy,
Mm-hmm.
and mommy asked me, and I was like, yeah, but I don't remember how it all went.
Because the first book that you read was a kid's book about disabilities, and we contacted them and asked if it was okay for you to read it on a video online, if we had permission.
That's amazing. I actually was introduced by my wife buying a kid's book about, and she bought the whole series, and she was like, you know what, this amazing company not only speaks to kids, but it also speaks to parents and to families. And I fell in love with the company, and I fell in love with the books. And I said to myself, if I can ever join forces with this amazing company and do something great to inspire, I want to do it. And that's how I got involved with writing and also investing in this amazing partnership. But I'm so proud that you are such a very competent and very intelligent young lady. And all the questions that you asked me were amazing. I'm so proud to be on this journey with you because this is like my first major interview for my book. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Of course.